Hi there, it's Jo. I'm back today with another video tutorial for Through the Craft Room Door magazine. This is an online publication by Colleen Holmes. Now, I am going to forewarn you that I am doing a voiceover on this video because when I filmed the video it was kind of long, so there were some things in there that I really could cut out and you'd still be able to follow along with the video. So my hand movements and my voice are probably not going to match the entire time, but I think you'll get the gist of it, and also I have a written tutorial. So, you know, what you may not be following in the video, I'm sure you'll be able to follow on the tutorial. So first of all, you're going to need some type of a dry adhesive on paper, like crack and peel, or you could even use your Xyron and run a piece of cardstock through it. Some sort of a dry adhesive, nothing wet. You're also going to be needing some large lace. I found mine in the remnant section of my fabric store. You just need a variety. Really, you don't even need a variety if you're just going to do one pattern, but I do have a nice collection. And not only that, you're also going to need some glitter. Now, I use the Art Institute glitter because it's one of my favorites and I've had it for years and I have a large quantity of it. And with that, you're going to need to have two colors. You're going to need a dark color, an opaque color, something that's going to show the dark color once you put it down. Then you're also going to need a lighter color, such as a white or an off-white. Now, as long as your background paper is white, you could get away with even like a clear glitter or a crystal glitter. What else you're going to need is a spoon for dipping and spreading. And when we get into the video, that'll make a lot more sense than what I'm saying. You're going to need a coffee filter in order to collect your glitter once you put it on there, because you don't want to waste it and you really don't use a lot of it. And some copy paper, lots of it, and also a brayer. And you'll see why in the video why you're going to need this brayer. It doesn't need to be the one like I have. It can be anything. You could even use a rolling pin, or your hand will be fine as well. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to do is peel the backing off of the crack and peel. And mine actually came off pretty good. Sometimes it can get sticky and maybe not come off real well. Then you're going to take your piece of lace and you're going to carefully lay it over. Try not to get any wrinkles in it, but try not to press too hard because you don't want to take away any of the stickiness with your hands. Make sure your hands are clean, and you don't have a lot of oils on them. Okay, and once you get it nice and smooth, just very lightly tap it out. As you can see, that's what I'm doing here. Then we're going to jump into dumping our dark glitter on there. And I do say dumping because that's basically what you're going to do. You're just going to take the color and just dump it all over it. Now, when you're using a small jar, obviously I don't have a lot of glitter, but you know what? That's fine because this is where our spoon is going to come into play. So go ahead and spread it out as best as possible. I mean, if you have a large amount, great, go for it. But again, remember, use your dark color first, because then that way you're not going to contaminate your other colors when you're through. So as you can see, I'm just taking this spoon, I'm kind of spreading it around almost like you'd be icing a cake. And you'll want to move it around, and you'll see I'm going to just keep on moving it all over the place and making sure I'm getting into all those crevices. So now that I'm finished, this is where I'm going to use my copy paper for the first time on the darker glitter. I'm giving it another once over just to make sure. So take your copy paper, and I'm going to lay it over top of this, all the glitter still on there, and I'm going to grab that brayer, and I'm just going to roll over it. Again, you could actually use your hand if you want to, or a rolling pin, just something to apply some pressure so that you're getting that dark glitter into those open spots of the glitter, or I'm sorry, of the lace. And pull it up. Like I said, there's a lot of glitter. You're going to end up sparkly, so be prepared. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pick this up and I'm going to kind of dump as much of this glitter into the coffee filter because I do want to put it back in. You're going to use very little amount of glitter, even though it looks like you just put a ton of it on there, but you'll be amazed. I mean, my jar is going to still be almost full when I dump it back in. And this color is fuchsia. It's very, very pretty. It's kind of a purpley pink. So let's go ahead and tap the rest of this in here so I can get it all back into the jar. I love using coffee filters. I get them from the dollar store, so they're very disposable. So anyway, let me go ahead and cap that back up so we don't have any mishaps with it. And we're going to go on to our piece of lace again. I'm going to bring it back over. And what I want to do is I'm going to grab another piece of copy paper and I'm going to go ahead and lay that over the lace. And we're going to give it another once over with the brayer or your hand or your rolling pin, whatever it is that you might have. I just want to make sure I get that glitter in as best as possible and that any loose stuff is going to fall off. And you know, we're going to have a nice area to make sure that clear or white glitter is going to be in there. Now what you'll probably want to do is take this off and like tap it or flick it over your trash can. And that's what I did there. So now the next part is going to be removing the lace so that you can go ahead on to your next step with the white glitter. And it actually makes a lot of noise when you're pulling it up. I will give you that. So it's going to be a little bit tough because you did press in there, but try not to touch those open white areas because of course this is where your glitter is going to stick, your white glitter. So I'm pulling it up and you know, you'll have a little bit of resistance but not too much. So you want to make sure that whatever you're going to be putting down as far as lace, don't use a paper lace because it won't come back up. So you do want to use a fabric lace. So now I have it all cleaned up. I'm ready to go on to apply my clear or the white glitter. And I'm going to do the same thing. The only thing I'm doing a little bit differently is I'm only putting a minimal amount of the white down. Only because just no matter how careful you are, you're still going to end up with a little bit of some of the darker glitter in there. So I'm just going to kind of work around and move this glitter around and probably tap it back on just like I did with the darker color, but just lesser amount is what I put down because I'm going to probably you know, have some contaminant with it. You just have to know that in advance. Maybe even have a separate white color that you're going to use. Again, like I said, I'm pouring back on some more in some different areas, and I'm just going to go ahead and use my spoon again and just keep on spreading it around, almost like I said, like you're frosting a cake or maybe putting some peanut butter on a sandwich, something like that. But anyhow, we're just going to go ahead and swish it around, and while you're doing it, go ahead and give it a little bit of pressure. It'll make sure that you're sticking to the areas that you need to. And we're almost done here. And again, I'm just scraping some of it around and pushing it in. And you'll see, you can already see where it's taking shape. And once we knock off some of this glitter, you're going to really see it's a very, very pretty background. And you can use this to just maybe use one of the fancy labels dies from Spellbinders or any of the other die companies and just stamp a sentiment on there and then add a piece of ribbon, which you'll see in the end with my card, and just make a super simple card. Again, don't forget you are going to be sparkly, so you'll probably walk away with all kinds of sparkle. I'm still finding it. So again, I'm just tapping off, and I'm going to go ahead and tap off into my trash can again just to get any extra pieces, and there's your paper. It's really, really pretty. Again, if you want to, you could even run the brayer over it again just to make sure, but I think you're okay with it. You know, as with any kind of glitter, unless it's one of these newer glitters that you can burnish to where you almost don't even know it's there, you're going to get glitter. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial and that you'll check out some of the other tutorials that everyone has done, and give this a try. We'd love to see what you have. Submit it to us. We have something each time asking for submissions. How about using this as one of your projects? It would be beautiful, especially for the holidays and your winter scenes, things like that. So again, this is Joe, and it's Through the Craft Room Door magazine, and we just keep getting better and better, and we love to see your work, and we love to hear your comments. So again, at the end of this video, you will see the card. I just made a quick card up showing what you can do with it. I'm sure you can get even more elaborate. maybe even create like snow scenes. You could use even strips of fabric other than the lace. Just to make sure whatever you do, it's not like a paper, because the paper is going to stick to the adhesive. So here's the card, and again, I thank you for stopping by today and checking it out, and have fun.